Welcome to the Point of No Return podcast, a show at the intersection of technology and strategy. On this show, we interview industry leaders and experts to better understand how they think about strategy during this time of exponential progress.
Hey guys, welcome to the Point of No Return podcast. On today's show, I spoke with Gabrielle La Rue, founder and CEO of Locketgo. I had a good chat with Gabrielle. She was super generous with the time, and I learned a lot about the event space, an industry I have zero knowledge about. A little bit about Gabrielle. She started her career at Evenko, where she learned about events and the music space. She then decided to quit a really good job after 4 years to launch her own startup. Locketgo offers a turnkey locker rental service for event promoters and festival-goers alike. The company takes care of really every single stage in terms of reservation of the locker via platform, delivery, installation of the lockers, hiring of the staff, as well as after-sales service. They also offer logistical services as like cell phone charging and lost property management. And on the side, Gabrielle also plays in a rock band and tours, which is kind of cool. On the show, we spoke about how she decided to leave a really safe job to launch her own startup, her passion for music and how that led her to the entertainment space, the pressure of leaving that job and really starting out on her own, how she prioritizes her work, and then the plans for scaling Locketgo, the features that she's looking on in terms of product. Gabrielle, super cool. I learned a lot about the event space, and I really think that you'll enjoy the conversation. Thanks. Gabrielle, thank you for being on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I really appreciate you taking the time. Obviously, kind of a cold reach out. I introduced from a good friend of ours, Noah, that said, "Hey, you should really talk to Gabrielle with what you guys are doing." So I wasn't familiar with your company and your startup and what you guys are doing. So I'm really interested to hear about it and to learn more about what you guys are doing. I'd maybe start with more of a question about your background, your career. I saw that you're in Evenko for a few years, so I wanted to learn more about your path from working in the event space and what led you to starting Locketgo.
Yeah, well, pretty much everything I do is based on my passion for music. I have always played in bands since I'm a young kid, since I was 11. So I started playing music, and then I started to book shows for my band, and then we went on tour, and I started to really like putting on together shows and organizing stuff, and then it was time to have a real job. So I went back to school, studied event planning, and I got my first job at Evenko. It was my first job, and I was Eric Fortin-Lambert's assistant, which is now, I think he's not far from being head of production, or right under the head of production now. And he pretty much showed me everything I know about event production, especially logistics. So I continued to play music, and through that, it was a mix of event planning and music. And then I saw an opportunity to start a business, because there was a big lack in Canada. There was nobody doing locker rental for events. And at the time we started, there was a few companies who were doing charging stations, but not the way we do it. So yeah, I decided to go on my own and start Locketgo. And here we are right now. So it's a mix of all of my passions in one business.
You worked in the event space, and that basically led you to come up with the idea. Had you seen other models of locker rentals? Is what inspired you?
Yeah. We saw a company in the United States who was doing that, and then I was like, "This is the best idea I've ever seen." But nobody was doing it in Canada, and it was really, really pricey to hire them, because they were from the States and they were super far. So I was like, I can do this, but I can do it better. I can do it with more my vibe, something, I don't know, more like based on the customer experience, more like a comfort zone, something like based on how you feel in the zone, because festivals are really chaotic, and it's really like you're always overwhelmed. And I wanted a place where people can rest and like change and like put on makeup and just like start over their day at the middle, at 5 and when you're like all dirty and stuff. But without having to pay like super expensive price, like to go in the VIP and stuff like that. So something for everybody, that can have like their small home on the festival.
Yeah. And how long did it take for you once you had the idea, you saw it, to, you know what, screw it, I'm quitting and I'm jumping with both feet?
It took about 2 years. I was thinking about it. I had still my bands that I still have bands, but at the time I was like, should I like jump into another project or just focus on the band? And I really wanted to start it with a partner. So I found someone was willing to do it with me, and then we did the SAGE, the entrepreneurship class. And at the end of the class, she decided not to do it anymore. And I said, well, you know what? I'm too advanced in this. I'm doing it. So I was still working at Evenko at the time, full time. I sat in my boss office and I was like, I'm starting this. Do you like support me, or are you firing me, or what do you want to do? And he was like, I support you. And that was the best thing that happened to me. So I started the company. Evenko gave me my first contract for the 3 biggest festivals, Osheaga, Heavy Montreal, and Ilsonic. And they lent me the warehouse to build the lockers. They really like made a big difference, and still make a big difference in my life, in my business. And at the end of that summer, which I was working full time for Evenko and Locketgo, and I had the band, I decided to like go full time with Locketgo and music. So here we are. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing for the past year and a half.
That's great. That's great. What was the toughest thing for you personally during that voyage to launching?
It was to decide to like leave a job that was like really great, and to like risk everything. I had no money. I had nothing. I had put all my money in the lockers. So that was the biggest risk. And the time I decided to quit, it was the end of the season. So I knew I had like 6-8 months ahead of me of like no money, no income. But you know what? It was really the best decision. Looking back, I wanted to be free. I wanted to like do my thing, and yeah, it was worth it.
That's great. That's great. I applaud the effort for sure. So maybe to start talking a bit about Locketgo, how would you explain it simply?
Well, it's really simple actually. We rent lockers in events.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, all sorts of lockers for employees, for volunteers, but especially for festival-goers.
But how did this not exist in the past? Like,
I don't know. When we started the company, people were like, "This is the best idea," and how come nobody has ever done that? And I was like, I don't know. They do it in the States, but nobody does it here. I see that we're always a bit behind what's happening in Europe and stuff like that. So maybe it's just that, but I don't know. We just jumped on it and like did it super fast, like to have no competition, and so far so good.
So the use case is I go to, let's say, Osheaga.
Yeah.
I roll up, I have a bag or I have stuff, and then I book with my phone?
Yeah, it actually starts when the festival will put on their tickets for sale. We will launch the locker sale at the same time on our website. People can reserve in advance. We work really closely with the sales and marketing department from the festivals to push the locker sales. And this year we have a new thing happening with Evenko. We're gonna introduce the locker sales directly in their ticketing system. So when people are going to buy a ticket for Osheaga, they will have the choice to rent a locker too.
How much does that cost?
A locker per day, it's $18 a pop a day, and with tax.
Okay. And if you buy over, let's say, a multiple day festival, do you get a discount?
It depends. It really depends on how the promoter wants to use the service. It's pretty much up to him.
So I imagine you strike a revenue sharing deal with the promoter.
What we do is mostly we do a custom quote for the client depending on how many lockers he wants, like how far is it, all these stuff. But our price is always under the maximum revenues generated by lockers. So what we like to do is you pay us for the service, but at the end you'll get a check. So so far we don't really take risks for the promoter because but we give them all the tools to push sales. We work really closely with the social media posts with them. We gave them all the material, all these tricks that we developed, like the integration to the ticketing system, and all these. We work really closely with them to push sales.
Yeah, it's interesting. And what's the main metric of success? Is it like utilization rate? If you have, let's say, for example, 100 lockers and you have 80% that are booked. Is that good, bad? Is that the main metric you look at, or do you look at it differently?
Well, we do like to have them sold out. So that's pretty much what we aim for.
Your target is 100%, basically.
Yeah, 100%. So we never push too many lockers. We're not like, let's ask the promoter to rent us 1,000 lockers if we know he's going to sell 500. We prefer to start with low amounts, sold them out, create a demand, and then the next year we adjust. So that's we want everybody to be happy.
Because there is a hard cost in making a locker accessible, and if it's not sold, well, that's a hard cost you're not recuperating.
Exactly. Yeah.
From your years at Evenko, what do you think you learned that is very applicable to your business today? Obviously, I think the organization events, but are there other skills that you learn?
Yeah, well, for sure, we're working under pressure and really short notice demands. That is for sure. But I think that the thing I gained that is the most useful for me is the perspective of everybody. I have the perspective from the musician. I have the perspective from the producer and the supplier. So I know how everybody's issues or what they look to not have pain. I don't know how to say it in English, but I know where the pain is for all these people, and I try to reduce the pain. That's why we do everything we do is turnkey. All they have to do is just give us a flat space on the event, and we take care of everything. So I think that's our big advantage on the market.
And right now, what's your footprint? Have you moved beyond Montreal? Are you looking at other markets?
Yeah, we started last year demarching Ontario. We had clients in Ottawa, the 115th anniversary of Ottawa, and we hired someone this year to develop Ontario market. So we have someone dedicated to this area, and we're of course trying to expand everything we do in Quebec. So far, we have traction from new clients. The biggest difference from, let's say, last year and this year is that the phone is ringing. Now people come to us, and that's really
it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, that's a good problem. Yeah.
And you mentioned that you've looked at obviously other competitors in the US or similar companies, and you said you wanted to do it better. Mm-hmm. How do you feel that you've achieved that?
I think this year is where we're going to really step up. We started last year with the mobile unit, but what we noticed is that there are a few small players and one that's a bit bigger, but nobody has all the products that we have. So we can, let's say, do a really smart corporate event and do a huge festival through Locketgo. So this year, what is gonna make a big difference, like I said, is the locker sales directly through the festival ticketing system. But also this year, what is gonna change is we're gonna arrive with all the zone. Like last year, we asked the promoter to supply like a tent and some flooring and stuff like that. But this year we arrive with our own flooring, our own like structures to protect the lockers. We have a lounge zone. Like everything is really like clean. Every detail has been thought. So this is a big difference for the promoter too, and for the look and feel of the festival and the zone. Instead of having like boring white tents, you know, people are gonna be like, oh, what is this? And it's gonna be more like a sponsorship activation, or more in that kind of vibe in the zone. So.
And then more from a operational perspective, does someone need to have an app? Is it just a key? How does it work?
So far, what we are doing is people reserve online and they receive an email, a confirmation email, and everything is there. So they have their locker number, their lock combination, and what they do is they go to the locker and they open it. It's a lock.
So you just memorize the code and...
Yeah. We need to improve on that, and that's what we're currently doing. We aim to be ready for May. But I don't want to go too far in this. About it? I mean, we can talk about it for sure. It's not a secret. We are actively working on introducing the RFID technology in our opening system. We let's say it's a question of financing right now. So all these two main thing are. My main focus right now, but I'm really confident that we are gonna have at least a prototype ready for me.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys are growing, the phone's ringing. How do you prioritize what you need to work on? How do you decide what's important and what's not?
I think in the past month, Kat and I, my partner, we realized that we were doing pretty much the same kind of job, but just like switching, and that was not really working well for us. So now we really focus on what our forces are. Kat is really gonna dedicate all her time to marketing and PR and sales for Quebec. From my background, I have already some clients of mine that I'm gonna keep and take care of. Like mostly the biggest festivals are my contacts. Kat is more developing other markets and other kind of festivals. Let's say sports events or corporate events. And we have Peter who's going to do Ontario. And for me now, I'm going to step in my big CEO shoes and try to work on like more expanding internationally, like strategic partnerships with companies, financing, like doing all these pitch and all the stuff like that. That's my main focus right now, and getting everything like really tight, you know, on logistics side, making sure like everything happens, you know, when we have a client, all the chain of command. So that's pretty much what my focus is on for now.
What do you think will be the next logical step outside of events? Have you considered that? Is it too soon? Like you mentioned sports.
Like next market? For sure, we should do more sport events because there is definitely a need there. Like, let's say a Spartan race or like all these races that people need to change. And so we're actively demarching that right now. But there is so much you can do with a smart locker. So many different markets. We have thought about pretty much all of them. But we are really specialized in events. So for us, we decided to pause on other markets and accelerate the prototype development and come with a locker that will be really like made for events. On the transportation side of it, logistic, everything. I don't want to give too many details on the ideas we have, but this we're going to develop some of the aspects for this summer, test it, and then there will be a last phase to develop at the end of the summer. And then this is when we're going to be ready to go meet like big companies to do partnerships with them. So this is my plan for the next 6 months.
Yeah. So I imagine there's also the opportunity to diversify revenue streams. You mentioned brand activation. You mentioned a few other elements.
We do that already. And yes, this year is a really big focus, brand activation. We definitely see an opportunity for a brand to associate with a service like locker rental and phone charging. So yeah, this is that's why we came up with the idea of the whole zone. So we take care of everything. So if you want all the doors with your brand on it, the floors, the like structure on top of it, and the lounge, like we can pretty much customize everything. So.
In terms of in your CEO role right now, what are the trends that you need to keep an eye on, or you are keeping an eye on, that you think are going to potentially impact your business?
I mean, it's been a really fun journey for Kat and I so far. It's running pretty smoothly. I think we're really lucky, and we have a good timing. So opportunities so far come to us. I don't know where, but I don't know. I think it's important to stay in the grants and stuff like that. I know sometimes it takes a lot of time to do these kinds of things, but for us, it's been game changers. Let's say, it started with a year ago when we did the pitch for South by Southwest. And then we won. And then Charles Chénier was in the room. And then we got into Santec. And then, everything after that, it just, we went Fondation Montréal Inc. And we just won Adopt Inc. So I think being in the eye of like the medias and the people from the industry is really important to, well, for the kind of business that we're doing. You know, it's really public. It's really like events, and we're two girls, you know, there's something that I don't know. I think people relate to us.
Which companies in the space do you look up to and say?
For sure, Connect and Go is one of our, I don't know. Anthony, one of the co-founder, is pretty much my mentor.
Anthony's a great guy.
He's like, we're really close to him. He's really helping us developing our new product. He's like, come on, girls, do it. I think he's more like impatient than us. But they are a great company. They have like great values. For Kat and I, it's basically what's the most important. The vibe at the office, how everybody is like feeling. I want everybody to be able to grow and be their own boss, you know. Just if you give, like, people who work with us right now, we're so young, we're so early in I feel it's such a big like they give us their like, they trust us, you know, that we're able to take them somewhere else. So I feel like I need to give back to them. And I don't know, we don't have like schedules at Locketgo. We don't have, like, you don't have to work at the office if you don't feel like it. And we get so much done because people care. So that's, I don't know, Connect and Go have the same value. So yeah, going back to your question, definitely a great like company for me.
That's great. So just out of pure curiosity, what happened to the bands? Do you still play? Or?
Oh yeah. My band is well, it's my babies, you know. My band is Guidestones. It's and then I have with my boyfriend, with Charles, which also works at Evenko, and my drummer Zender is like my boyfriend's twin brother. So we're super close, and this is. Like, I love Locketgo and I love everything that we do, but music, man, that's my life. So, yeah, I'm putting a lot of time in that. We're in studio right now, and yeah, it's hard. It's like pushing two really ambitious projects at the same time, but I don't know. I don't like to sleep, I guess.
What kind of music is Guidestones playing?
Guidestones, it's pretty much, we like to say it's a mix between, I mean, the guys are going to laugh so bad at that. Fleetwood Mac, Bryan Adams, and Kings of Leon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we take a bit of the 70s and the 80s, but in a modern way. Yeah, and let's plug a show while we're at it. We're going to play at Club Soda on Friday the 16th. So it's going to be a good one.
I'm going to ask you for tickets.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I don't know if this is going to open up like a huge argument. Best 70s band.
For me, it's Fleetwood Mac, man.
Wow, okay.
Oh, fuck, I love them. I don't know. It's also because, there's girls in it. It's I don't know. All the guitars, everything is really well done.
It's a tough argument. Their first album is, it's a top 20 album.
Yeah, I think they're coming back. Yeah, I heard that they're gonna tour again.
Gabrielle, I've really enjoyed our conversation. Yeah. Where can people find out more about Locketgo, about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, well, we have a website, locketgo.com, so LOCKETGO.com. And we're really active on Facebook too. Kat really likes to post stupid stuff or more pertinent stuff. But yeah, and by the way, we're currently looking for an intern. Someone who's gonna be on all the events with us, take care of stuff, and pretty much help me with everything. So, yeah.
Okay, we'll spread the good word.
Yeah.
Okay, Gabrielle, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Point of No Return podcast. Never miss an episode by clicking on the subscribe button on iTunes or Google Play.